In the heart of Africa, where the Nile's silver waters dance beneath the burning sun, there lived a girl named Abeni. She wasn't like other girls. While they dreamed of handsome princes and sparkling jewels, Abeni dreamed of adventure, of faraway lands and tales unknown. So one day she decided to leave her village and see the world. "Don't be silly," her mother cried. "The world is big and rough. You are just a simple country girl." But Abeni's spirit burned bright like the midday sun. She packed a small bag, kissed her mother goodbye, and set off on a journey. She walked through high grass and over babbling brooks, past villages where men traded and gossiped, and finally to a vast open plain. There she saw a majestic horse, wild and untamed, and knew this was no ordinary beast. This was Ashanti, the legendary horse from the royal line of Ra, who would only accept a true leader as its rider. Abani's heart skipped a beat. Could she, a simple country girl, be that leader? She walked towards the horse, not with fear, but with quiet confidence. Ashanti snorted, pawing the ground, testing her. Suddenly, Abani stretched out her hand, not to stroke, but to touch the horse's nose. In that instant, Ashanti calmed. She felt Abani's spirit and saw in her a leader's fire. With a gentle whinny, Ashanti bowed her head, accepting Abani as her rider. Overjoyed, Abani climbed onto Ashanti's back and they raced across the plain, faster than the wind, as free as the birds in the sky. Now, word of Abani and Ashanti's bond reached the ears of the evil sorcerer, Scar. He wanted the horse for himself, but not to ride. Oh no. He planned to use Ashanti's royal bloodline to brew a dark magic potion, granting him powers beyond compare. Scar sent his men to steal the horse, but they returned empty-handed, telling the sorcerer of Ashanti's untamable spirit. Enraged, Scar decided to capture Abani, believing her spirit was tied to the horse and would lead him to his prize. As darkness fell, Scar and his men ambushed Abani and Ashanti. They tied the horse up, but when they tried to take Abani away, Ashanti reared up, kicking and biting until they cut her free. Then together, girl and horse disappeared into the night. Through the darkness, they ran until they reached a clearing. In the center stood a wise old woman, and behind her, a group of villagers. The woman stepped forward. "Who are you?" Abani asked, breathless. "I am Mama Quila," the old woman said, "and these are my children. You have shown great bravery tonight, child. Come, rest with us." That night, Abani stayed with the villagers, sharing stories and songs around a crackling fire. When dawn broke, Mama Quill led her to a cave hidden behind a waterfall. Inside, sunlight streamed through cracks in the rocks, illuminating rows upon rows of herbs and roots hanging from the ceiling. "Why did you bring me here?" Abani asked. Mama Quilla smiled. "Here we use plants for healing and strength, not for evil." She handed Abani a necklace woven with special herbs. "Put this on, child. It will keep you safe from Scar." "Thank you, Mama Quilla." Abani wore the necklace, feeling its cool touch against her skin. She knew Scar would come looking for her, but now she wasn't afraid. Meanwhile, Scar, furious that Abani had escaped, had consulted the village shaman, only to be told, "You cannot find her, Scar. The spirit of Ashanti runs strong in her. She is as untamed as the wild horse." Determined to change that, Scar visited an old friend, a cunning hag who lived deep in the swamp. She brewed potions from toads and snakes, and her spells were as dark as the shadows they cast. Scar offered her a pouch of gold, but the hag refused it. "Your gold cannot buy what you seek. If you want to tame the untamable, you must bring me the heart of Ashanti, the wild horse." Scar gasped, horrified at the thought of killing the horse. But he knew the hag couldn't be bargained with. So he returned to his men and gave them a new task. They rode to Abani's village and stole Ashanti, bringing the horse back to the hag. Scar watched as the hag cut open Ashanti's chest and pulled out her still-beating heart. With trembling hands, he took it to the swamp's edge and dropped it into the murky water. Suddenly, the ground shook and the hag's hut began to glow with a sickly green light. From the swamp emerged a creature like nothing anyone had ever seen. It had the upper body of a woman and the lower body of a horse, and its eyes glowed with eerie green flames. The Hag Queen. Scar had become the master of the swamp and all its creatures. Now news of Ashanti's fate and the Hag Queen's rise reached Mama Kila's cave. Abani and her animal friends were devastated. "We must save Ashanti," Abani said. But Mama Kila shook her head. "The Hag Queen's magic is too strong. No one can defeat her." Abani wouldn't give up. She remembered the necklace Mama Kila had given her and realized the herbs inside held powerful magic. She collected the herbs, crushed them, and mixed them into a paste. Then she walked out of the cave and into the forest. There she found a narrow opening. Closing her eyes, she applied the paste to her chest and stepped inside. The opening vanished behind her. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in a magical realm unlike any she'd ever seen. Crystal flowers bloomed in shades of blue and silver, and tiny winged creatures buzzed around her. A small cottage stood nearby, and from within came the sweet sound of singing. Abani followed the music and knocked on the door. A beautiful woman opened it. Startled, Abani explained how she'd come through the secret path in the forest and asked if she could hide from the Hag Queen. The woman smiled warmly. "Of course, child. You are safe here. Come, let me show you this place." She led Abani to a garden where herbs grew in abundance. "These plants are full of magic," the woman said, "and you, child, have the power to use them." Abani learned that the woman was a fairy godmother, and this place, a realm of pure magic. Together, they gathered magical ingredients, and under the fairy godmother's guidance, Abani brewed a potion. "This will break the Hag Queen's hold over Ashanti," Abani said, clutching the vial. The fairy godmother nodded. "Drink this," she said, handing Abani a small crystal vial filled with sparkling liquid. "It will help you control the wild magic within you." Abani drank the potion and felt its power surge through her veins. She knew exactly what to do. She raced out of the magical realm, back through the forest, across the plains, and all the way to the Hag Queen's swamp. She spotted Ashanti standing trapped inside a cage of thorny vines. Without hesitation, Abani waded into the swamp, the fairy magic protecting her from its murky depths. She approached the Hag Queen who sat on a throne of twisted branches. "Let Ashanti go," Abani demanded. "Never!" the Hag Queen cackled. "I have tamed the wild horse. Soon I will rule the whole land." But Abani stepped forward, holding out the vial of her potion. "No, the untamable spirit lives in me." The Hag Queen lunged, but Abani dodged, pouring the potion on the ground. Suddenly, the swamp began to shake. Vines wrapped around the Hag Queen's throne, pulling her in. She screamed as the swamp's own magic rejected her, for she had tried to tame something that belonged to nature's untamed, something as wild and free as the spirit within Abani. As the sun rose, casting its golden light over the land, Abani and Ashanti were reunited. The thorns holding the cage dissolved, and Ashanti nuzzled Abani, her eyes filled with gratitude. Together they rode back to Abani's village, where she was greeted as a hero. And from that day on, Abani and Ashanti were known throughout the land as symbols of untamed spirits and unbreakable bonds. And so the story teaches us that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with weapons or armies, but with the courage of one untamable spirit and the power of unwavering friendship.